Hey guys, welcome back to District 6 Covered. Appreciate you showing up. And today we're going to talk about the horrible match that I had in PA. So the 2023 PRS Rimfire National Finale. And this was put on by Matt Steiner and Greg Stewart. Very good course design, really tough stages. And along with that, we had some wind, we had some rain, and that really separates the good, the bad, the ugly. And some days you're the bad and the ugly. And that was my weekend. And I enjoyed the weekend. It was a lot of fun. I got to see a lot of great people. And the match was put on and done very well. The weather sucked. And, you can't order that up. So it is what it is. We went out, we shot. Started off on Friday, had a chance to zero. Huge shout out to Applied Ballistics for bringing out their Doppler trailer and giving everybody a lot of good feedback for their ammunition. And if you guys, I put it on some of my other ones. I see them out there a lot during the NRL Hunters. And what's nice is you get kind of a portfolio of what your 10 rounds did on that range day with that temperature and all that stuff. But what it takes into effect is it follows that bullet all the way down and then gives you basically a profile that you can put into your Kestrel for that ammunition in that rifle, which can be really, really good. I put the numbers up against my numbers and they're pretty spot on. I will say that I shot the match day one with nothing but the Applied Ballistics. I never went back and forth and checked some stuff. I was kind of trending low on quite a few rounds as I would get done with the stage. Some of the guys in the squad would be like, "Your shot seemed to be a little low." That could have been me. It could have been a lot of things, but I think going into this match, I really didn't have the mindset of wanting to even come. I just wanted to be there. I wanted to see people. I wanted to enjoy the days. But I wasn't in that competitive spirit, which in one aspect is good. And in the other aspect, don't expect to finish well. I've been so busy adventuring and having fun and seeing the sights and really not spending as much time as I should in the rimfire world of matches and really trying to do my best. I think a lot of that has to do with one, I'm really enjoying the NRL Hunter stuff. That is a centerfire style shooting, but it is a lot of fun and the beauty and the scenery of everything is just outstanding. So with that said, we're going to go over a little bit of this PRS Rimfire Nationals. And we started off, basically this is the match book. And there was 20 stages. And there were good stages. A lot of them were set up to really push the shooter. I think as a match director, you have many ways of messing with, or testing, I should say would be a better word, on how you can test the shooters. Because we are at the championship, we're at the finale. So you're really trying to get the best of the best to end up at the top where they should be. So a lot of that can be the size of the targets, the amount of movement, and the amount of rounds that need to be shot during a stage. And there's some other stuff in there as well. But where you have a lot of movement and you have a lot of... Where you have, I think they had 105 seconds was what the match was set up. Basically a minute 45. But having a lot more targets maybe that you're used to, or maybe you only shoot 2 minutes. And now you got to shoot something that you would think would be the same, but you have more targets that you need to acquire and shoot. Can really play mind tricks on you. People, one being me, with the weather and the rain, my chamber is very tight and I like it to be tight, but I do have a little more. I notice when it gets rainy, I do seem to get a little more hiccups going on, which normally don't come into effect on a nice warm day. So some of the things you need to think about is, where you're going to be shooting, what type of weather you're going to be in, and will my ammo feed well with a wet chamber. So those could be tests that you might want to take into account. Maybe a spray bottle, spray it into your action, and then try to shoot a mag and see what happens. But we're going to go over kind of just some of this stuff real quick and kind of the scores of what I got and how bad it was and how horrible it was. But we started off on stage 6, our squad 16. So we started off on 6. So stage 6 was the Lapua pipes. We had 2 targets, 165 and 220. But here's where they kind of get you on the main, trying to mess with your brain a little bit. You'll see far, far, near, near, far, 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 near, near, far, near, far, near. And it sounds kind of simple until you got to shoot it. The timer goes off. You really need to do a decent job of coming up with a dope card and coming up with a way that you're going to remember. Now, me personally, I'm probably like 5% of the way most people will do this, but I read from the bottom down as you would like a dope card for a sniper match stuff, where like each line represents the next distance out. So from far to near, I basically start at the bottom and I work my way out. So I'm basically, most people do it the other way. They do it like they're reading a book from the top down. And that's depending on you. But basically that's what I have. So a lot of this was, a lot of this stages, I would say probably 90% of these, or just give or take right in there, was a lot of holding. So most of the times for those of you guys that shoot out west or wherever you shoot a 2-minute match, you kind of have enough time to dial pretty much any stage, unless it's just crazy and there's a lot of stuff going on. But a lot of times most people will dial stuff. At this match, most people probably had to do holdovers or they timed out, would be my guess. But basically, like down here, it's hold 3, and then back to center, or 0, and then 0, and then hold 3. And that's kind of the way I had it set up. But I got a 5 out of 8 on that one, which was not great. And then as the day progressed, it started to get rainy. It started to get windy. And it really took a dive. It really was horrible. And I was in really good spirits day one. Because I'm having fun. I'm enjoying hanging out with the squad that I was with. A bunch of great people that I've done a lot of shooting with in the past. And so that's kind of, that was my game plan, was just to go have fun. But you can see kind of how you got to go from large left to the right. And this is kind of the match director's, not trickery, but their way of making sure that your brain is working and functioning well in this style of competitive atmosphere so that you're trying your best. You screw up on one stage and you drop, 12, 15 points, because there was some of those. And, that's a huge just disadvantage for the rest of the match. So 5 out of 7 on that one. I mean, I got a 5, drop 7. It was a 12-round stage. Another 12-round stage, I got a 7, drop 5. Another 12-round stage, I got a 6, drop 6. So all day I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding bad. If this was any other match, like a one-day match, even one of these bad things would take you out of the top 3 for sure. I got a 4 out of 12. I got another 4 out of 12. And this was just rough. It was rough. I got a 3 out of 15. So I dropped 12 points just on stage 12. And it was just a mental game that I was not capable of playing. And I think some of it, I don't know what you'd call it. I wouldn't call it an excuse, because it was my bad shooting. That's what it was. Bad shooting, bad mental mindset of getting ready for a match, not putting the energy into practicing. I haven't shot before that day, I didn't shoot a rifle for like a month. And if you want to be at that competitive, that high end like those guys were on that weekend, they're practicing. That's what you have to do in order to get where they're at. And I wasn't there. But yeah, I got a 2 out of 12, a 2 out of 12, a 2 out of 12, a 12 out of 16, a 9 out of 10, a 2 out of 12 again, a 6 out of 14. So a lot of these stages were high round count. Here's an 11 out of 15. So I had a couple good stages throughout the weekend, but it was a very tough mentally, especially on day 2. I'm like, okay, I switched from what my applied ballistics one was that I had downloaded the day before or 2 days before. And I said, I'm going to go with my other one. And I started shooting. I don't know if it was better, but it was a nicer day. This was day 2. The sun was out. My rifle ran a lot better. But the reason for the video is, if you're not out there, there's people that want to shoot. There's people that go and have just started shooting. There's people that are competitive or trying to be better. And then there's people that are at the top of their game. They're practicing, they eat, sleep, that style shooting, that rimfire style shooting. Then there's people that have the ability to add something additional that's very close. Like Andy Slade. So Andy Slade ended up being the winner of this. He shoots for MDT. Great dude. Known him for a couple years now. He shoots centerfire and rimfire. And they're very different, especially for holds and, basically a ton of different stuff. But the idea is the same. If you don't have the mindset or the ability to be at the top of the game and you're running around like me trying to shoot different style shooting, it really is a detriment to being better. Like the person that puts all their time and energy into one style of shooting caliber wise and like really knows that bullet, knows exactly what it's going to do with that wind and that rain and all that kind of stuff, is going to do much better than the guy that is out having fun competing in center fire, and 3-gun and whatever else you can get into. That's just fun. But they're going to know that they're never going to be great at something. You have the ability to do okay at matches. Sometimes you might win a match, but you know that when all the big boys and girls show up, who knows what's going to happen. You may have a great day or you may have a crappy day. Where the people that focus on just that one little section, let's say, are going to do much better. So it kind of depends on what your mindset is, what you're trying to accomplish. Would I love to win the match? Well, of course. But I know in the back of my head, and the front of my head, and the sides of my head, that it's not going to be me up there. What I'm going to enjoy shooting with all my friends that shoot, getting to see their faces, hang out with them during the night, all that kind of stuff, and just enjoy the overall competition. And that is what I did. I enjoyed the competition. It was a great match. They did an amazing job. The facility was nice. MKM up in PA, if you guys ever get a chance to shoot up there. And there's a lot of switchy wind. That was a lot of things I heard. They're like, oh, this is your first time here? I'm like, yeah, I've never shot here. But I'll be careful of the wind. It's switchy. So with that said, I tried to do a good job of looking at the wind, seeing what the guys in front of me were shooting and how kind of the bullets were trending as far as what side of the plate and all that kind of stuff you should be looking for while you're watching the people ahead of you. But there's always the time when the wind was hauling ass and then it kind of calms down dead and then switches or whatever the case is. And all that kind of just depends on how good your luck is when it's your turn to shoot. So you have good days and you have bad days. But You're going to see all the videos of most of the stages, and you're going to see me do a horrible job. You really are. I wasn't disappointed in myself. I was disappointed that I didn't shoot better, but I was disappointed in that I feel like I should have shot better, but I didn't show up that match. Mentally, physically I did, but mentally I didn't. And it shows that you really have to put in a lot of effort, a lot of practice, and to be a top contender in this style of shooting. And as the years progress, everybody's getting better that wants to put the time, energy, and effort into, becoming a better shooter. So those people that you may know that you're going to shoot better than, per se, at least on a normal, every time you go to a match kind of thing, that could be their day where they're going to shine. That could be the day that you're just going to suck rear hump and not do well at all. So hopefully this video, I don't know if it should inspire you, hopefully to practice more, to not do what I did. So I will tell you that I ended up, this is the worst finish that I've ever had, I believe, in rimfire shooting. And I ended up in 170, I think it was 73rd, 173rd out of 211 shooters. And it's nothing against the ones that are below me, and nothing, kudos to everybody that was above me, but I know where I should be, and I know where I showed up. And that tells me that I really need to, A, put more time, energy, and effort back into the rimfire section, or just be a happy-go-lucky, have fun competitor and not worry about it. But congratulations to all those men and women that did really well, and the ones that didn't do well. That helped hopefully to motivate and persuade them to even work harder this next year, and hopefully I see them outperform their last match that they did. So you guys take care, have a great day, stay safe, stay healthy, see you on the next one.